Latinas are not all the same. Many of them have different immigrant experiences, different stories, different generational experiences, different access to wealth and education. What unites us is wanting to have dignity, love of family, love of community. I was executive director for 8 years, but I've been at the organization for 13 years. Our work at the National Latina Institute is rooted in the real lives of our community. We work in New York, Washington, D.C., in Virginia, in Florida, and Texas.
In Texas, we've been building for over a decade in the Rio Grande Valley. And we're very much involved in coalitions of other progressive organizations, really helping to uplift the reproductive justice perspective and making sure that women and immigrant Latinas are not left out of the picture.
And we worked intricately and deeply with the Latina Institute, both in terms of documenting human rights abuses against Latina immigrants along the border, but also in suing the state of Texas for closing these clinics and ensuring that accessible, affordable access to reproductive health care was available to all women in Texas, but including and particularly low-income Latina women. And that was a case that actually went all the way up to the Supreme Court.
We had Latinas from across the state of Texas tell their stories about what it meant to have that clinic close. What kind of barriers did it present before them to have to travel 250 miles to get health care, have to sleep in their car because there's a waiting period, or scramble to find childcare for the children they have in order to get the health care that they need. We documented those stories in an amicus brief, and we won that case. It was really an empowering moment for our community to know that in taking the risk of telling their stories, they actually affected powerful, powerful systemic change. One thing I'm most proud of being the executive director over the last 13 years was really taking the organization to its next level. The MIS Foundation has been so instrumental in our work. They were some of the early investors in the National Latina Institute.
She was so passionate about our mission. She built this team around her that allowed us to flourish, to take on immigration, abortion, contraception. She wants to ensure that this commitment that we've made as an organization to salud, justicia, and dignidad really bears out in all of the work that we do.
Jessica's a born leader, and Jessica likes to make leaders. She sees gifts in people, and she's able to say, I see something in you, and I want to be able to work with you, hold you, support you. What do we need to get you to this table?
She always believes that she can win and that she's on the right side of justice.
She really leads a movement of fight for justice with love. And I think that's really her vision, and she lives that out every day in the way she treats people, in the way she talks to people, in the way she talks about people, in the way she strategizes and thinks about how she wants to include others.
I want a world where all people can thrive. That despite your immigration status, despite your gender identity, despite who you love, despite how much money is in your pocket, where you live in this country, the language you speak, that you have an opportunity to live your full potential and be able to create families that you wish to create and raise those families with dignity. The work that we do really contributes to that vision. Seeing the community at the front lines of that is incredibly powerful.